thank you for joining the second webinar in this series to learn more about the new Microsoft project for the web and to discover how it can be extended with Microsoft Power Apps to create a rather powerful project and portfolio management solution. As part of this session, I will again be providing a high-level demo. Feel free, of course, to post questions during the event using the Q&A panel, and I'll review them at the end. So the agenda for today, I'll start with a quick intro to Wellington before providing an overview of the new Microsoft project before delving into a quick demo to show you an example of how Microsoft Project for the Web could be extended with Power Apps, all of course within Microsoft 365, and at the end I will be sharing my contact details as well. Firstly, a little bit about Wellington. So we started way back in 2001 as a pure project management consulting firm based in Windsor, whereas in the present day we now have offices in the UK, Ireland and Spain, and we also offer a wide variety of services that span consultancy, training and technology, with a real focus on project and work management. We've managed to collect quite a few badges along the way, and today we're recognised as a specialist Microsoft Gold PPM partner, an APM accredited training provider, an Excelios consulting partner, which means that we can provide the P3M3 maturity assessments, and last but not least, we're also an approved G Cloud supplier. We also run and compile the annual State of Project Management report, and we deliver the annual Future PMO conference in addition to that as well. Further details are all available at wellington.co.uk, the address being displayed on the bottom of the screen. Lastly, before getting on to the topic for today, we've managed to work with quite a diverse mix of clients, and the one thing that they all have in common is that they all run projects. You can view a number of case studies on our website, so please do go and check them out by following the link that is again displayed at the bottom of the screen. So let's talk about extending Project for the Web. So within the last webinar, I focused on demonstrating Project for the Web Plan 1, which is very much geared towards the accidental project manager, as you can see on the slide. Today we're still looking at Project for the Web, however with a focus on Project Plans 3 or 5, which are required if you want to connect to, build or run Power Apps that access Project for the Web data, which of course is what we want to do in order to provide power users, such as the PMOs, with access to the more sophisticated functionality that they would typically need. So for example, the ability to add governance workflows to support the defined project life cycles, or giving them the ability to ensure the projects are strategically aligned and prioritized. That's just an example. There is obviously so much more that you can do with Power Apps. To illustrate further what you get with Project Plan 1 as a standalone license versus Plans 3 or 5 alongside Power Apps, take a quick look at this overview. The green areas represent Project Plan 1, which when used by itself enables you to create projects and the tasks within them. That's it. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Now the purple areas highlight example elements you could add using Power Apps. So as you can see, using both Project for the Web and Power Apps together, you can access a solution that's much richer in functionality. It can provide the ability to prioritize your projects, give you access to live portfolio views, and the ability to add governance frameworks, RAID logs, and much more. And that's what I'll be providing a quick glimpse into right now. However, just before I go into the demo, a very quick caveat. This will be a high-level overview of Project for the Web and a quick demonstration of how it can be extended or enhanced with Power Apps. If you want to see a more detailed overview, then please get in touch using the details that are going to be coming up at the end. So hopefully you can all now see the homepage to Office 365. And of course, of interest to us right now is Project. So that's where we are going to be heading. And in fact, I've already got it open here, so I'll go straight there. And I'm going to start off by, again, providing a very quick demo of Project Plan 1 to show you what you get if that's the only plan that you have, before then taking it into Plan 3 alongside Power Apps to show you what we can do over and above what you get out of the box. So this page is the project homepage, and this is where every project manager tends to end up when they first click on the project icon. and it shows them a list of all of the projects that they are managing within the system. These could be projects that are being managed in Project for the Web. It could also be projects that are being managed in other solutions that Microsoft have, like Microsoft Project Online. Again, we're not going to go into that detail today, but what I am going to do is go in and create a blank new project. So here I am. This is Project for the Web in its basic format. I'm going to go in and start creating a brand new project. And let's give this one a name. Let's call this the campaign setup. So that's the very first summary task that I'm going to set up. I'm going to go in now and create some additional tasks. So we'll create a few. Let's make this the last one. I'm going to make these elements now subtasks. And what's great about Project for the Web, unlike Microsoft Project on the desktop, when you open that up, it almost resembles the cockpit of a Boeing 747, whereas when you're looking at Project for the Web, anybody really without any training at all can get straight in and start creating a basic plan. So what I've done is I've created this campaign setup, the summary tasks. I've got some subtasks now as well. I've got the ability to go in and start assigning work to individuals. So I'll look for my friend Megan, put Megan in. And when I do that, it's asking if I want to connect my project to a group. So this links into Office 365 security groups. And for those of you that are already using Microsoft Teams, you'll be familiar with the concept of going in, creating a team, adding members to that team, creating channels so that people can access that content. This is the same concept here. This is all tied into the same system. So if you've got an existing group, you can add this project to an existing group rather than creating a brand new one. And that's what I'll do. I'll go to add this to a group. We will select a group that I've already defined. It's this one here, Project for the Web. And when I now add and assign, you'll see that it straight away, it brings in the group members that belong to that existing group. So when I go into my tasks now to add a resource, it's giving me a list of the people that are already members of that team. So I'm adding in some resources. Oops, clicking everywhere. Let's assign something to Lydia as well. I've also got the ability to go in, add some additional columns. So as it stands at the moment, these are the only columns that are available out of the box with Project for the Web. Microsoft are rolling out an update before the end of the year, we think, but we'll give you the ability to add in custom columns, which will be quite nice. For now, I'm going to add in effort. I'll add in effort completed. Let's put in effort remaining. Let's get rid of that message there. Let's also put on depends on. So we've started adding a bit more structure now to this plan. Let's get rid of that message as well. And I'll start putting in some effort estimates. So let's say 3 days for this, let's say 5 days for this, and why don't we go for 6 days for that, and we'll go for 7 days for that final one there. So I've started creating my project. One thing that I haven't done so far is give this project a name. So I'll click into that, and we'll call this the APM webinar, and I'll leave all of the other details as is. And close out of that part. So far we've been using the grid view, which is pretty much a traditional project management view that you might be accustomed to already. But here we've got a bit of flexibility in terms of how we view this information. So I'm now going to go over to the board view. And this view is pretty much the same as what you have with Microsoft Planner. So for any of you that are used to using Planner, this is essentially the same view. And if we think about Project for the Web in isolation, it's really a step above what Planner provides out of the box. So one of the most commonly requested features of Planner has been the ability to create dependencies and to link one task to another. You can't do that in Planner, but you can do that here in Project for the Web, and I will be demonstrating that in just a while. So just like Planner, I've got the ability to go in, add custom buckets, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to go into this view here and select from some of the out-of-the-box views that we have access to. So we've got a progress view and also the ability to group things by the finish date that's been defined. I'm going to go in and look at the progress bucket view. And in order to update the task status, all I need to do is click and drag into the relevant bucket and the statuses are updated. So by dragging this into in progress, it's now marked as being 50% complete. And if I take it across to completed, it's now marked as being 100% complete. And this information is replicated throughout the other views. So here we can see task 1 being marked complete. Now I'm going to go to my personal favorite view, that's the timeline. And here is the timeline view. And what I've got the ability to do here is to, first of all, create dependencies. So click drag and drop, and I can do this, by the way, in some of the other views as well. It's just nicer to demonstrate it here. If I want to increase the duration of a specific task, click and drag, elongate it out. And again, I'm going to create a dependency, and I'll create one more there. So this is the basic project for the web interface that you get as part of Microsoft Project Plan 1. So it's pretty simple, and again, very much geared towards the use of accidental project managers. These could be marketing managers, product managers, or other individuals that need to put together basic plans. Now, for the power users, they want to be able to do more. They want to be able to invoke governance frameworks. They might want to capture financial information. They might also want to collect RAID log information. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate now using Power Apps. So for those of you not familiar with Power Apps is a app building solution from Microsoft. It gives you the ability to go in, create apps quite simply. There are some out-of-the-box templates available as well, but without going into too much detail around this, what I'm going to do is go into an existing app that we've created. So Wellington Project Web App. And in fact, I've already got it open here. And of course, being a live demo, it would ask me to sign in again. So we're going to let that sign in. It just timed out. So this is the app that we've created, and we've got it as a default landing on the portfolio dashboard, which is one of the reports you get as part of the Power BI reporting pack, but I will be coming back to a bit later. Of course, of interest to us is seeing a centralized list of all the projects. So in order to view that, I'm going to click on projects, and here I can view all of the active projects. You can define other views. So we've only got a few basic views set up just to demonstrate the concept. But if you want to add in things like traffic light indicators, RAG statuses, that again is something that you can do here. But what I'm going to do at this stage is actually drill down straight into an existing project that we've already established and show you this. So this is the power of Power Apps alongside Project Plan 1. And to put this into perspective, what I'm going to do before I talk through this screen is click on the task tab, because when I do that, what you're going to see embedded within this is a project plan from Project for the Web. And again, don't forget, if you've got questions, please do ask the questions using the Q&A panel on GoToMeeting, and we will be looking at the questions a bit later and going through those as well. But this is now loaded up. This is my task view. So again, I've got access to the grid. I can also access the board view as well, and I can access the timeline view. And everything that I'm demonstrating here, by the way, you can also display within Microsoft Teams. And if I have time a bit later, I will demonstrate that. But there you go, that's Project Plan 1, but embedded within Power Apps. So what Power Apps gives you the ability to do is all of this and much, much more beyond what I'm demonstrating today. So here we can define different project templates. And each project template can be accompanied by a governance workflow that the project managers have to step through. And to demonstrate this, if I click on the simple project template, you will see that the life cycle has been simplified. If I go back to the standard project now, you can see that it's been extended out. And when I click on each one of these stage gates, what I'm presented with is a checklist for that specific project type that the end user has to go through and complete in order to be able to move on to the next stage. And again, this is all bespoke. This can be customized to accommodate your project lifecycle, your framework. That's all doable. Outside of this, we've also displayed here various forms that are collecting general information around the project. So we've captured project ID, a brief description. We've also added in the ability to define whether or not this links into a program, and we can link it up to a parent project as appropriate. We've also added in simple things like project status. Here we've also added in some cost estimate windows, and this is something that you can actually update by using touchscreen gestures or by using your cursors or by typing things in. If I scroll to the bottom, we've also provided the ability there for project managers to provide regular status updates on how the project is progressing. And actually, to demonstrate the ability to template much of this up, so that's a standard template that I'm looking at the moment. And as part of this, we've got this project lifecycle, but we've also got this project manager's update windows down there as well. If I was to select the simple project type, you'll see that again, the lifecycle shortens down, but we've also removed the project manager updates section at the bottom because maybe we don't need as regular updates because it's a very simple project. So this is part of it. And again, this is just an example of what could be achieved. You can build in strategic alignment scoring, prioritization matrices. You can do a lot over and above what I'm demonstrating today. But alongside this, we've also added in the ability to go in and add RAID logs. So that's what you're about to see now. So here I can see my risks being displayed, my issues being displayed. I've got actions and decisions there along the bottom as well. You can very easily go in, create a brand new risk, or maybe go in to edit an existing item. But this, again, is something that we can build in as part of this. In fact, if I do click into this risk, you'll be able to see how it's been populated. So here's a form that we've created. You can set the status of this risk. Is it active, postponed, or closed? We can define the probability, the impact scoring, put in mitigation actions, and anything else you might want to complete as part of this. So again, a lot you can do here, but for now, I'm going to save and close out of this and go back to the main screen. Something else that's really quite nice about Project for the Web, when used in conjunction with Power Apps, is the ability for you to view all of your projects in a hierarchy. So if I want to see what the linkages are between my project and any sub-projects, I can do that here. So this is the project that I'm looking at the moment. These are the sub-projects, and then we've even got a sub-project linked into this as well. For now, I'm going to go back to the main screen. And I'm going to demonstrate the risk logs in a bit more detail. So if I click into the risks, what I'm going to see now is an aggregated risk log for the entire portfolio. And from here, what I've got the ability to do is to go in and edit from this grid view itself. So I can make that an editable grid. I can go in, update things like the titles that we've assigned to the risks. We can change the statuses as well. And you can create your own custom groupings. But if I go into group now by project, you will see that we've got something that's a lot more digestible being displayed on the screen. So that was a very quick look at some of the Power Apps capability. I'll go back to the project that I was looking at earlier, and I'll start demonstrating some of the out-of-the-box reports that are also provided by Microsoft, but of course we can customize and tailor them as well. So I'll go into Power BI. And these are my reports. In fact, rather than demonstrating that, I'll go to this window here. So this is now where I can see all of the different reports that you get as part of Project for the Web on day one from Microsoft. So we get a portfolio dashboard, got a portfolio timeline, portfolio milestones are being displayed, got some resource-related reports. You can also get task overviews, and individuals can also go in and see what their workload looks like. So this particular report, it's probably quite self-explanatory. We can see some key KPIs around the project portfolio there on the left-hand side. We can also see the projects by progress. So how many are currently active, how many have not yet been started. We can also see which project managers are the busiest by looking at those views. And here, of course, we have a listing of all the individual projects. And we can see very clearly the number of tasks that are maybe overdue, what the statuses are across the board. There is a timeline report that I mentioned earlier, and this very simply shows us a list of all the projects. It shows us what the timelines are linked to the projects, and we can also see here percentage complete as well, which is quite handy. And if you want to see information at a more granular level, you can drill down. So we'll change that to months, and we might want to look at a particular month. Let's have a look at November, and now we should be able to see all the work taking place in November. Again, milestone information is also being pulled through as well. What I would say is any information that we are collecting using Power Apps, it is reportable. So these are the standard out-of-the-box reports, but we can extend these using some of the supplementary information that we've captured using Power Apps. So if you want to see where projects sit within their life cycle, if you want to know what the financial status of a particular project is, or roll it up at the program or the portfolio level, that again is something that you can do. We've also got a basic resource dashboard here. So I didn't demonstrate the resource capabilities today, and the reason for that is that Microsoft in the coming months are releasing quite a few significant updates to that particular area. And once they've done that, we can, of course, deliver another webinar focused on the resource management capabilities of the solution. But that aside, I'm going to now jump over to the project timeline view, just to demonstrate that again very quickly. It's very similar to the portfolio timeline, but this is at a project level. And of course, if I scroll along, you will now see for individual projects how they're stacking up. And we've got the ability there as well to select from different projects. End users, of course, as I mentioned earlier, also have access to their work list or their task list. I'm just going to load up. So there we go. So that was a very quick demonstration of Project for the Web. I did mention earlier that I would also demonstrate how this fits into Teams. So let's go back to the Office 365 homepage, click onto Teams. This is a key solution, and you can see the different teams that I've established. So the PMO portal, we've got this Power Platform Program project, but this is the project that we've been looking at so far. And linked into this, I've got my general channel here, so I can see ongoing posts from the project. I've also got some centrally shared files that I could go into. You can, of course, view the project plan within Teams as well. So let's drill down into the project that we were working on just a moment ago. And again, we've got access to all the same views that we had access to previously. So the grid, the board, the timeline, all of that is visible here. You can also embed in various other web portals you might have set up. And of course, you've got access to Power BI from within Teams. And for those of you that are maybe already using Microsoft Project Online, which is a very, very mature solution, you might have certain organizations that are maybe using Project Online for certain departments, but then there are other pockets within the organization that want to make use of Project for the Web. We can very easily set up some combined reports as well, which is what you're about to see being loaded up now. So this report pack that we've created is, first of all, it enables you to view work across all systems, or maybe just within Project for the Web or combined with Project Online. So here we've got, again, a breakdown of the project portfolio, but here we can also see which system they're being managed in. We can also see a combined portfolio timeline, and we can also access combined milestone reports as well. And you can also get a combined view of where the resources are spread between both solutions and which projects they're working on. And again, this is just a bit of a glimpse as to what is achievable with Project for the Web, used in conjunction with Power Apps, with Power BI, and maybe even some other solutions that Microsoft provide. So that was the very brief demonstration. Again, I'm more than happy to take any of you through a much deeper demonstration and maybe even customize it for your individual organizations to show you how it could fit in with your processes and existing level of maturity. For now, I'm going to go back now to my slide deck, and let's talk about the next steps potentially. So I've already covered the first one off. So again, we can provide bespoke demos and again, focus around your core objectives. We can also provide envisioning workshops. So if you have already determined that you do want to roll out Project for the Web or maybe Project Online or any other Microsoft solution, and you would like to take a deeper dive and look at what implementation could look like within your organization, you want to understand what the roadmap would look like, that again is something that we can provide through an envisioning workshop. And lastly, if you would like to run through and maybe deliver a proof of concept internally to get buy-in for a full-blown implementation, that again is something that we can facilitate, and we can also provide trial licenses around Project for the Web or Project Online in order to help that along. Now, if you did want to run either the envisioning workshop or the proof of concept, obviously there is a cost linked to that, but if within your organization you've got a Microsoft Enterprise licensing agreement in place, as part of that you do have various benefits associated. One of those would be SharePoint Deployment Planning Service vouchers, so SDPS vouchers. If you've got those vouchers, and you would like to use those towards envisioning or to run a proof of concept, we can absolutely help with that. And if you want to know more about that process, please visit that link that's displayed at the bottom there. So that's the end of this very short session. I'm sure you've got questions, so please don't hesitate to still pose those questions, and we will get onto that in just a moment. If you want to reach out to me directly, please again do so by using that email address there. If you want to connect to me on LinkedIn, that is also displayed. You can either go and search for Bas Kinder. There is only one on LinkedIn. I have double checked and triple checked. You can also scan the QR code via the LinkedIn app on your phone, and that'll take you straight to me. Please do also check out the Wellington website and follow us on LinkedIn, where we regularly announce new events. We share lots of articles and updates around what the roadmap for Project for the Web looks like. However, at this stage, I'm going to hand back to get the Q&A session started.